So I think even just this alone, with all of the signposts, before we get into why it's so important, just if you looked at it through that lens alone, it is a must-own asset. Mm-hmm. It is a must-own where what's going on in the world today.
When you start to kind of unpack Bitcoin itself, how much of your excitement or even sympathy for the asset in terms of why you hold it in your portfolio is economically driven from like a macroeconomics, I have to have this to protect my wealth, versus more of the social and political stuff, which is, if I need to move, I can do it quickly. If there's unrest, if there's confiscation of assets, all that type of stuff.
It's a super interesting question. I haven't been asked that before. Actually, for me, I think I lean more to Bitcoin because it brings fairness and equity to the world. It brings a free market forces that allow the abundance gained from technology to be passed to the broadest possible audience. That's my primary reason. I don't need more money. I don't need more anything. Like I just
life is good.
Life is great. I love what I do. I tons of friends, I love everything I do. So I wrote the book more because I'm living in this system, benefiting from this system, understanding that I couldn't understand why prices weren't falling at the rate they should be falling when all of the technology companies that I was building were producing crazy returns for people. That's why people were using the technology companies. And so I couldn't understand why that wasn't happening at the rate that it should be. So that's what I investigated. So for me personally, I'm in it more for the fairness. If I now put on my investor hat, when I think about how much is in Bitcoin, how much is in other things, my hurdle rate for an investment in say a company is really high because I know what Bitcoin's going to do. I know how, I believe, I believe it's going to be. I believe it's going to be a reserve currency. I believe it's going to be a bunch more than that in time, and so I believe in what that will do for a return rate. And so I measure every other return rate, other things that I would invest time or against that placeholder.